Supreme Master Qinghai International Association Relief News Update from Japan. Nearly 2 weeks after the world's fourth largest ever earthquake and enormous tsunami on March 11th, Japan's northeastern region continues to be rocked by aftershocks. The official toll of dead and missing rose to over 25,000 on Wednesday, March 23rd.
With more than 14,700 buildings demolished, many survivors who had been rendered homeless are now staying in their cars to escape overcrowded shelters, where over 260,000 people were still taking refuge as of Tuesday evening, with aid distribution slowed due to fuel shortages as well as debris and destroyed roads. Many still lack food, water, medical care and other essential needs.
My family is mother and sister and me. But my mother was lost.
Your mother is lost?
Having followed the situation with sorrowful concern since the initial disaster impact, Supreme Master Qinghai has donated $80,000, sending her love and prayers. She also asked that our association members, including doctors and nurses, go help the victims, including bringing urgent necessities such as medicine, especially to the elderly and young. With contributions from our International Association members, the donation now totals more than $110,000.
Immediately after the disaster, our association members began working in several teams to render aid to Japan. A team in South Korea has already prepared 4,500 relief kits, including clothes, stockings, undergarments, diapers and other necessities. These were shipped to Tokyo for our association members there to distribute immediately upon arrival. In Japan, a relief team comprising of our association members from Japan and Formosa, or Taiwan, divided into groups. As telecommunications were still down, one group travelled to Miyagi Prefecture to assess the situation and report back to the others staying in Tokyo to prepare the needed items.
どうですか？やっぱり当時のやっぱ本当に大変だったんです。はい。まだちょっと一番はでも住民が不安になってますので、住民の不安を和らげるように食べ物であったり、そういうのを供給して行き渡るようにですね、することが今一番最優先ではないかなと思ってますけども、下着の数が極端に足りないです。6500人が6100人が今避難してますけども、その他にも結局ね、お家に避難している人もいますので、なるべく多くですね、下着をいただければありがたいです。で、なるべく早くいただければありがたいです。私もそうですけども、何卒よろしくお願いいたします。今実際にこっちは必要なものをもう揃い始まってるんですね。ありがとうございます。いち早く。
With information about what was needed, our association members got in touch with the team in Tokyo to bring the supplies as soon as possible.
Meanwhile, as many residents who had left Tokyo following the disaster begin to return home, fears of radiation from the damaged Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant are still high, with affected areas such as tap water, which is still registering radioactive iodine at levels higher than the safe limit for infants.
The Tokyo Metropolitan Government told people to use bottled water when preparing food or drinks for infants, but urged residents not to hoard them and pledged to provide mineral water to about 80,000 households with babies.
On Wednesday, atmospheric radiation levels in many eastern and northern prefectures remained slightly above normal, including Fukushima as well as Yamagata, Tochigi, Gunma, Saitama and Tokyo. In Fukushima City, where the highest levels were recorded, health officials stated that 1 hour of exposure to the radiation there would equal 1/100th the radiation received in a single stomach X-ray.
As a precautionary measure, the Japanese government extended a ban on certain leafy vegetables to now include broccoli, cauliflower, and turnips, which are not allowed to be shipped from Fukushima for the time being due to radiation contamination, although officials say they do not pose immediate health risks. Shipments of parsley and raw milk from neighboring Ibaraki were likewise suspended, and consumers were urged not to eat those products. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has meanwhile imposed a temporary ban on imports of dairy products and fresh produce from Fukushima, Gunma, Ibaraki, and Tochigi prefectures.
At the damaged Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, workers continued risking exposure to high radiation levels as they worked to cool the overheating reactors and prevent a catastrophic radiation leak. On Wednesday, reactor number 3 became the first of the most troubled reactors 1 through 4 to have electricity to have its control room restored and lights switched on, which will allow for more intensive work to curb the crisis. However, operators must limit their stay in the rooms due to high radiation levels and periodic power outages. According to Kyodo News Agency, 2 workers were injured Wednesday while restoring power to reactor number 1, with another setback occurring when its temperature briefly spiked above 400 degrees Celsius, with large amounts of seawater being pumped in to cool it down.
Also on Wednesday, plant workers had to temporarily evacuate when black smoke was seen rising from reactor number 3. Contamination levels were reported to be unusually high before the smoke was seen at the nuclear plant. They later dropped, but were still higher than the past several days.
We are thankful for all the assistance from around the globe to Japan. Our deep gratefulness also for Supreme Master Ching Hai's attentive care for the disaster victims, as well as our association relief teams for their selfless endeavours. With sincere sympathies for the precious lives lost, we pray that heaven may grace the Japanese people with faith and resolve as they strive to recover the regularity of daily life, and that such tragedies subside as humanity turns to more benevolent, earth-protective ways.
Supreme Master Ching Hai wants to convey this message of gratitude to all governments, organizations, and relief workers from every corner of the world. Thank you, all the international and national help that brings care and necessities to afflicted victims. Thank you, all the relief workers, for taking time and forsaking your own comfort, even traveling great distance on unfavorable roads and conditions to bring love and assistance to people in time of need. May heaven bless you abundantly for your generosity and noble sacrifice.